Hi everyone, my name is Michael Wheeler. I am an assistant professor at the Dan School of Drama and Music at Queen's University, and I am here to tell you about our Graduate Arts Leadership Program. This is a pretty unique program. What we do here is we marry artistic concerns with management concerns. So overall, the curriculum concentrates on both art practice, aesthetics, being a leader, how to be relevant to your community and society, but also all of those things that make the arts happen. The money, the marketing, the fundraising. We can't forget about any of the logistics that also underpin our art practice. So what you see in front of you here is the concert hall at the Isabel Bader Center for the Performing Arts. I am talking to you from this building. My office is kind of up that balcony you're looking at. My back is to that balcony in an office up there. And so we also kind of engage in this education out of a state-of-the-art arts facility, which is important in that, this is a program that's run by people who are engaged professionally in arts practice. So this program, the Masters of Arts Leadership Program, is 100% online. So we've created a program that allows you to be wherever you are in the world. Many of our students are in Canada. Some of them come to us internationally. But what joins us all together is that we meet online. Many of the classes, I would say most of the classes, are live classes. So you're meeting with your fellow students and with your instructor to tackle these classes together, create community, understanding. Everyone is going to know who you are. Your instructors are going to know who you are. There are some elements that are asynchronous, so not live. And we include those just because we know that everyone has busy lives, and everyone who's trying to do this program is marrying it with something else that's going on in their lives. And so the asynchronous elements allow people to access some of their coursework without having to wait for a specific time and place. But for the most part, they're live online classes complemented by some asynchronous models. So this program was begun in 2017. We identified that many arts organizations were hiring their leadership from outside of Canada. And so this program was really motivated by a desire to foster a new generation of arts leaders. And of course, many people do not just graduate from university and then go on to be the head of an organization, but we really wanted to foster at the grassroots level this idea of leadership, local leadership, community leadership, and our hope, and we've started to see this manifest, is that these students who graduate will go on to these arts organizations and eventually rise to the top of them to run them. So we've had over 100 students who have graduated from the program. Many of them find work after attending the program as a professional program. We structure everything about the program really about how to have our graduates placed for success in the professional arts world. And don't listen to me. Check out this QR code. We have a video with some of our recent grads talking about their time in the program, their placements at the end of the program, and how that led to work for them. And so I'll let them kind of speak more to that. And you can see some of our lovely recent graduates also in this photo here. So why choose this program? An accelerated format. I really do often make this point to people who are considering the program that Queen's is a U15 university, which is to say it's one of the top public research universities in Canada. And we're offering a master's degree that you can get from your home in 1 year. I think that is a really extraordinary opportunity, and it's only possible because it's a very rigorous curriculum that takes place over the entire 12 months. There's no semesters off, and we really have packed that curriculum with both practical skills about what arts managers need and more subjective classes that look into questions of society and leadership. And overall, that combined with some in-person training at the end of this degree makes for a really rigorous curriculum that also allows you to get a master's degree in 1 year. And these online courses obviously offer a lot of flexibility for you in your own lives. And, our class sizes really do allow for individualized attention. So you can book one-on-ones with your instructor. Your instructor is going to know your name. I definitely know when my students are there and when they're not there, and who they are and what their background is and what they're doing in their jobs. And so we create a curriculum that allows people to learn new skills, to upskill their skills, and also maintain other activities in their lives. So this is what we would call a laddered graduate program. And what I mean by that is there's two stages to it. So the first stage is the Graduate Diploma in Arts Management. And this is comprised of the first 5 courses in our program. And these are the basically what you need to know in kind of broadly within an arts management background. So what are those 5 skills we've identified? They are human resources. Our HR class is not just an HR class, it's an HR class for the arts. So we have one course just on all of the HR issues that are relevant to the cultural sphere. And just to say, contracting and unions and financial agreements and professional associations are very specific in the arts and very specific within the Canadian arts context. And so we have one course just about that. Arts philanthropy. Obviously, every arts organization, especially now, needs to have a revenue stream that comes from individual donations or corporate donations or charitable donations or sponsorships. These are all revenue streams that can come to an organization that are not ticket sales. And we need that, especially now. And so there's one course just about how you're going to raise that money that's required to underwrite the artistic process. Artistic producing. This is a course that we've developed that actually kind of ties all 5 of the classes together, recognizes that to be a leader of an arts organization, you have to have an artistic context and sensibility, but also you need to be a rigorous producer and be able to bring those things together. Arts marketing, obviously, if no one's at your gallery or in your theater or in your concert, that's going to be disappointing to everybody who's involved. You have to have strategies to get people there. And then last but certainly not least, financial literacy. And this is a course that really allows you to understand how to keep the books, how to manage the books, how to do a cash flow, how to deal with accountants, all these important things that CRA is going to have questions for you about if you run an arts organization. So those are the 5 courses that make up the Graduate Diploma in Arts Management. And we believe that if you complete these courses successfully, that you could be placed in an arts organization around the country and immediately be a productive member of that office. Now, I mentioned that this is a laddered program. So some students just do those 5 classes, they receive the diploma, and they have skills that are appropriate for the workforce. Other students go further up the ladder, and now there's 2 more semesters that you add on to those original 5 courses. So in the fall, we have 2 classes specifically geared to arts leadership skills. So we're looking more at how to run an arts organization. What does it mean to be an arts ecology? How do boards work? How are people thinking differently about how boards work? How do you do a mission, mandate, and values? All of these core questions that leadership of organizations are thinking about in conjunction with, what they call those wicked problems. Like, how do arts organizations deal with the environmental crisis? How do they respond to Black Lives Matter? How do they respond to artificial intelligence? These are all questions that come up in the fall semester through 2 leadership-based courses. And then the winter actually kind of splits into 2 different options, depending on who you are and more importantly, what your professional background is. The majority of our students do this. They have what we call a internship at an arts organization. That internship is paid, and it is for 12 to 16 weeks. That internship is arrived at by meeting with our placement coordinator, Jeanne Lesage, and Jeanne figures out where you are, what you're interested in, and what sort of arts organization would make sense in that context. So she has individual meetings with each of our master's students, and we find the right placement for them. In addition, you complete a capstone report, which is a report that you write that is a combination of both your interests and something related to the organization where your internship placement is taking place. And we actually have agreements with those organizations to allow you to access their files in order to write a report that is based on a real arts organization's activities. And so fundamentally, at the end of that final winter semester, you have worked somewhere for 14 to 16 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks, paid, and have written a industry-driven report on issues related to that organization. Now, there are some candidates for whom that final semester doesn't make total sense. And those candidates are largely folks who are interested in this program but have already arrived at a mid to senior role in their organization. And so they may want to gain a lot of these skills. Many people kind of find themselves kind of falling into a role at an arts organization and then find they've been there for a while and they never actually kind of like formally learned how to do some of the things they're doing. And so this is an interesting curriculum to them. But then we find when we explain the final semester, doing an internship doesn't make sense for many candidates who are already at a mid or senior level in their organization. And so for those potential students, we have a second option, which is an applied research project. And so all the curriculum remains the same with one adjustment. Instead of doing an internship in the winter semester, you will write what's called an applied research project, which is 8 months working with a professor at Queen's University. And so you actually have 3 courses in the fall because your third course is beginning that applied research project, which goes all the way through the winter. And then that is in place of a placement. So as you apply, if that is of interest to you, there's many places within the application to indicate that. And then we can assess whether or not you've arrived at a place in your career where that is an option that makes more sense for you. If you are interested in the internship option, most of our applicants are. We have had students be at arts orgs across Canada. So there's a few right here on the graphic in front of you. These are some more of the blue chip ones. I know previous slide that I had made for this slide also included the Banff Center on there. And actually on the Dan School of Drama and Music's website, there's a fulsome chart of every placement that a student has done since the beginning of the program. There's been over 50 arts organizations. Some of them are, these blue chip organizations you see in front of you, and other ones are very small. Artist-run centers, organizations that may only have a few employees. We're really interested in gearing the internships to the career prospects and interests of our students. And so these ones are offered more of evidence of our really legitimate connections to arts organizations across the country, including the largest ones. But we also have the capacity to place students when it makes sense in smaller organizations. Career paths. So here's some to think about having graduated from a program, the sorts of things that you would be qualified to do. I won't read them all out loud to you here, but you can see that the diploma makes you pretty ready to just drop into an arts organization in some sort of level where you'll be doing things right away, and that, with just training about how specifically that arts organization works, you could perform a number of roles. The MA kind of expands what we hope you'll consider could be a career path for yourself. Well, many people may not go on to immediately be an artistic director or immediately become an artistic producer. We do think we're giving the skills that would allow someone to work their way up in an organization to have that role. And quite frankly, we have had people graduate this program and immediately become a general manager and immediately become a producer. And so some of those positions listed under the MA, we already have experience of our graduates kind of gaining those roles immediately upon graduation. And I also just wanted to note, I put head of department down here because a lot of folks who do the MA don't necessarily go to run an organization at the top of it right away, but they do go to a kind of a mid-level place where they're certainly in charge of other employees and have a leadership role if they're not the primary leader of that org. So what do you need to do? If this is of interest to you, you need to start your application. You go here. That's where you start, and then you select your program. So you have to select which the diploma or the master's degree is what is of interest to you. You also want to make sure you select May as your start date. So many things in the academic world start in September. We find many people select September each year, but that in fact will put your application not where it needs to be assessed. So make sure you select May as your start date. And I'll just remind you verbally here that February 1st, 2025 is the deadline to apply to the program this year, and that will be a pretty hard deadline. What do you need to have in your application? So there's some online application forms. We need your transcripts from wherever you went to school. We need 2 letters of recommendation. And I'll really emphasize here that it's best if those letters of recommendation are one from an academic source and one from a professional source. We really are interested in students who have some engagement with the arts. And also, it's a master's degree at a good university. So we also are interested in your grades. And so we want to hear from people about both of those things. There are some essays to write. They're not too long, but they will give you an opportunity to talk about what's important to you about the arts and why you want to be a leader within the arts ecology. We want your resume, if applicable, a TOEFL or IELTS score. There's a fee. And then just to emphasize one more time that the deadline is February 1st, 2025. If you have all the information you need from hearing me talk for the last 16 minutes, then feel free to apply with that. If there's some sort of questions that are still coming up for you, we're going to be online bi-weekly to answer any questions that you may have. So when I say we, I mean myself and Susanna, who's the program administrator. One of us will be online at noon Eastern time at these dates bi-weekly so that you can kind of do whatever you need to do to figure out what it is that you are going to apply for. Maybe you have questions about whether diploma or the master's makes more sense for you, or what sort of letters are appropriate, or whatever your questions are. We're going to be here, so we'd love to hear from you. And so to join that Zoom at noon Eastern time, just go to the URL that I have on this slide here, and there will be a Zoom link for you. Okay, that's what the Master of Arts Leadership Program and Diploma in Arts Management is comprised of. Again, my name is Michael. I'm the coordinator of the program, and I'm an assistant professor in the Dance School of Drama and Music, and we look forward to your application. Thanks so much.